When it comes to maritime disasters, cruise ships have seen their fair share of calamities, from massive cruise liners crashing into the rocks to onboard fires forcing hundreds of passengers to leap into the sea. These events have left a mark on history, not just because of their dramatic nature, but also due to their staggering costs. Let's dive into 5 of the most expensive cruise ship disasters in history and explore the details of each. The Carnival Splendor was a massive cruise ship operated by Carnival Cruise Line, famous for its size and luxury. On November 8, 2010, the ship encountered severe problems just 2 days into its journey from Long Beach, California, to the Mexican Riviera. The trouble began when a diesel generator in the engine room failed, sparking a fire that quickly spread to the electrical cables. This led to a complete power outage across the ship, turning what was meant to be a relaxing vacation into a nightmare. In the past, a lack of electricity might not have been a huge issue for ships, especially when sails were in use. However, modern cruise ships rely heavily on electrical systems to operate everything from engines to air conditioning. With a power out, the ship's engines couldn't run, leaving it stranded in the middle of the ocean. Fortunately, there were no injuries, but the passengers were left in uncomfortable conditions without cooling systems or refrigeration. To provide some relief, the Navy dispatched helicopters to deliver food rations. The Carnival Splendor was eventually towed back to California by a tugboat. The whole incident was reportedly a costly one for Carnival Cruise Line, with estimates suggesting that it set them back around $100 million. This figure includes the cost of repairs, compensation for passengers, and refunds for the ruined vacation experience. Another major disaster in cruise ship history is the sinking of the Costa Concordia. On January 13, 2012, this Italian cruise ship faced one of the most tragic maritime events in recent years. The ship was on a planned 7-day cruise when the captain made a critical mistake. He decided to take the ship closer to the island of Giglio for a closer view, which turned out to be a fatal error. The ship struck an underwater rock, causing it to capsize and partially sink off the coast. The accident led to a dramatic 6-hour rescue operation, during which most of the 4,229 passengers and crew members were saved. Sadly, 33 people lost their lives in the disaster. The investigation that followed blamed the ship's crew, particularly the captain, Francesco Schettino, for the mishap. Schettino was found guilty of manslaughter for his role in the disaster and was sentenced to 16 years in prison. He was also criticized for abandoning the ship early in the crisis. The Costa Concordia was declared a total loss by the cruise line's insurance company. Salvaging the wreck was an immense operation, involving the attachment of flotation tanks and towing the ship 200 miles to Genoa for scrapping. The entire salvage process took 5 years and is estimated to have cost around $2 billion. This figure includes the costs of recovery, compensation, and repairs, making it one of the most expensive maritime disasters ever recorded. Formerly known as the Carnival Triumph, the Carnival Sunrise has had its share of misfortune. In 2013, the ship experienced a fire in its aft engine room. Although the fire suppression system managed to put out the blaze without injuries, the ship lost power, leading to a situation reminiscent of the Carnival Splendor incident. Adding to the misery, raw sewage began to back up on passenger decks, creating a health hazard and an awful smell. This unfortunate event led the media to dub it the Poop Cruise. The ship was initially planned to be towed to the Mexican port of Progreso. However, strong ocean currents pushed it north, and it ended up docking in Alabama instead. During its stay in Alabama, strong winds caused the ship to break free from its moorings and collide with another vessel, the United States Army Corps of Engineers dredge whaler. The collision caused a 20-foot gash on the ship's stern, and the wind also led to the collapse of a guard shack on the dock. resulting in the death of one guard and the injury of another. In response to these issues, Carnival conducted a fleet-wide review and installed backup generators on all its ships. The total cost of the Carnival Sunrise disaster, including repairs, cancellations, and the additional damage caused by the collision, amounted to approximately $80 million. The MS Oceanos was a French-built cruise ship that met a tragic end during its final voyage in 1991. The ship, captained by the experienced Yanis Avranas, encountered a severe storm that led to disastrous conditions on board. The storm generated massive waves that flooded the ship, causing it to lose power and become adrift. As the ship was struggling, passengers were unaware of the full extent of the danger until they ventured to the bridge and found it empty. An entertainer on board managed to use the radio to send out a distress signal, leading to the arrival of rescue helicopters and lifeboats. Despite the challenging conditions, all passengers were eventually rescued. Interestingly, Moss Hills, one of the entertainers who helped with the rescue, created a website dedicated to the incident, oceanosinking.com. This site includes detailed accounts and personal experiences from the event. The reasons for the ship's final mishap remain unclear, but the disaster highlighted the importance of proper emergency procedures and crew preparedness. The SS Morro Castle was a luxurious ocean liner built in 1930 and was well known even during the Great Depression. However, on September 5, 1934, the ship faced a catastrophic fire while traveling from Cuba to New York. The fire started in a storage locker and quickly spread, engulfing the entire ship. The captain of the Morro Castle had died suddenly just the day before, leading to a series of unfortunate events. As the fire raged, passengers and crew were forced to either endure the intense heat on deck or jump into the rough sea. The ship had 12 lifeboats, but only 6 were launched, leaving many people without adequate escape options. Rescue boats eventually arrived, saving most of the people on board, but 137 lives were lost in the disaster. The burnt-out wreck of the SS Morro Castle ran aground near Asbury Park, New Jersey. Despite an extensive investigation, the cause of the fire was never determined, and the ship was declared a total loss. The estimated cost of the disaster was over $4 million in 1934, a substantial sum for that time. These 5 cruise ship disasters each tell a story of unforeseen calamities and staggering costs. From the Carnival Splendor's engine fire to the Titanic's infamous iceberg collision, these events have shaped maritime safety regulations and highlighted the importance of proper ship management and emergency preparedness. The lessons learned from these disasters continue to influence how cruise ships are built and operated today. As we move forward, it's crucial to remember these incidents not just for their dramatic impact, but for the advancements they have inspired in maritime safety. If you enjoyed this look into some of the most costly cruise ship disasters, make sure to subscribe to our channel for more content like this. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.